VigilanteWilliamson here with a very simple question, and that is, what the hell is fat acceptance? I actually know the answer to that question. It's a whole movement where basically you have to worship obesity. That's the long and short of it. I did a stream about it a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago, maybe even last year. Time flies when you're old. So yeah, I did a stream about it. I've talked a little bit about it in some recent streams because I've seen some stuff on it. And what is it with this movement? Now, I don't think this movement has that much mainstream appeal per se. I think most people recognize being obese is unhealthy, including your boy, which is why I'm trying to get some of this weight off. Shout out to my neck injury that I've mentioned in other videos. As you can see, I have the same shirt. I batch record these videos, so that's why I'm still dealing with the same neck injury days later. This fat acceptance movement, I've predicted it will be the next LGBTQ movement. If you would have told me in 2014 that, what's the best term that I can use for YouTube? Individual, I hate to say transformers, I'm not trying to be disparaging, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if you would have told me individuals could, how about this? If you would have told me there were more than two genders in 2014, I would have laughed it off. No disrespect. But now that's a huge hot button issue. And I think in the next 5 or 10 years, this fat acceptance will be a bigger issue. Before we get too deep into this video, if you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, because we're trying to survive and get to 1K so we can be fully monetized, please do that. But even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. So the reason I say this fat acceptance thing could be the next multi-gender thing, I got to come up with some way of saying it on this freaking platform, is because of a bunch of reasons. One, let's be honest, our food supply in America is poisoned. There are ingredients that the FDA allows that other countries don't allow. There's like thousands and thousands of them, and preservatives and fast food. Granted, fast food is getting less and less because it's getting too damn expensive and less people are buying, but there's still, even if you buy stuff from the grocery, everything's tainted. Even the quote-unquote organic stuff. You're like, hey, I'm just going to buy stuff that grows from the earth. They've tainted that. Everything has been tainted. Everything in our food supply has been poisoned. I'm not just talking out my ass. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. Look up how many substances are banned in other countries but allowed in the US if you don't believe me. So, with that being said, we're going to have a lot of individuals, like your boy, gaining more weight than they should. So, it's going to lead to a pool of people who want to be in this fat acceptance sort of thing. And another thing, it goes at mainly young people, mainly young women, and maybe a splash LGBTQ men, but it goes at the youth. And we are in a more atomized generation where, you know, everybody keeps to themselves, and so you have a youth that's looking for identity, that is going to be eating less healthy than any other generation in this country before it. And they'll be able to find identity online with being obese. When losing weight, a place where losing weight is fat phobic. A place where being able to wipe your own ass is ableist. That's what and I know this is the worst case scenario. And shout out to what's the girl's name, Sam at Every Size. I've been watching some of her videos, learning a little bit more about where the fat acceptance movement is. Doesn't matter how many influencers die. Yes, influencers have actually died in this movement. It gives people some sort of identity. Fat people tend to be picked on. So now you're picked on by the rest of the world. You're 15 to 20. And now you can be a victim. We know victimization is an all-time high. Everybody wants to be a victim. Everybody is a victim. Everybody has their own victim class. No matter what group or demographic you are, there's a whole, even the quote-unquote infamous straight white male. They're only saying this because you're white. Sometimes you're right. Just because you're a victim, though, or let me rephrase this, just because you're victimized doesn't mean you have to be a victim. Being a victim is a choice that you as an individual, or in some cases a group, makes. But victimization is the key to clout nowadays. And we know clout is more important than life to some people. So you have a bunch of young people who are probably overweight or getting overweight because of the poisonous food they eat, and the choices you make matter, because not everybody is morbidly obese, even though the percentages are getting really, really high. But you have a youth class raised by single mothers. I gotta toss that in. Shout out to Brandon Jamal. But you have a youth class, no identity, bullied, and here's a path to victimhood, which is a path to internet clout and a path to identity and belonging and a group. And so you're going to have millions and millions, if you don't already, of young people investing into this movement. And just wait, you're going to see some of the same things you would have never thought you would have saw done for this movement in the name of not being quote unquote fat phobic. You know what I mean? A lot of these individuals, a lot of these influencers get brand deals. We've seen the obese models. We're seeing this stuff. This is going to be a bigger issue, pun not intended, maybe slightly intended, but it's going to be a much larger issue. That pun was because it's bound to happen. It has every ingredient to keep it going, and it's a sad thing, man. It's sad. It's hard as fuck to lose weight. I'm struggling with it. Like I said, I end up hurting my neck. I don't even fucking know how. So that sucks. It sucks. Losing weight, trying to get healthy in this day and age sucks, especially we had all the stressors, and it's not an easy task. And it is, different information out there. Some may work for you, some may not. You got to kind of do trial and error, find out what works best for you. You got to not go too hard, but make sure you go hard enough to get results. My issue is every time I try too hard and I'm hurting myself. So I got my own issues with this. And fat acceptance is a way out. You don't have to lose weight. You can accept who you are. Don't get me wrong, man. I don't think people should be bullied because of their weight. But I don't think people should be celebrated either. I don't think people should be bullied for losing weight, which is a feature or a bug, whatever you want to call it, of this fat acceptance movement. A lot of people, if you lose weight, oh, you're fat phobic. Oh, you're throwing it in the face of all the fat people. It's sad. It's a group of people, a lot of which, I'm not going to put this on all, but a lot of which don't love themselves, don't like themselves, don't care about themselves. I hate to say all these cliches, but they're true. And they get mad when somebody finds out that they care about themselves. Remember all the heat Adele got for losing weight. It's actually pretty disgusting. It's really disgusting. And hey, you can't blame men. Well, you kind of can, because one thing I've said, I was going to say you can't blame men because it is a mostly woman thing, but here's why you can. The fetishes, man. If it wasn't, and this is a joke, but it's truth. 100 years ago in 1924, there were 0 men who were willing to have sex with a 500-pound woman. In 2024, the answer is not 0, and therefore there are more of them. This may sound crude. This may sound fucked up. It probably is crude and fucked up. But a woman is going to find her someone to be with, right? And if she's 500 pounds and the answer to how many men want to be with her is 0 men, she will lose weight. I know that sounds crude and sounds jacked up, but sex is one of the biggest motivators for a lot of behavior. So in a day and age when you have fetishes, where there are 500, 600-pound girls, and there are guys in their DMs, oh, you look so beautiful. And, I wish I could, maybe if I find a clip of the guy, when I did a stream about this earlier, there was this guy, he looked like a bodybuilder type, but he was into these big girls. And so he had a fetish for these big girls, so he was popping all these big girl influencers. These big old San Antonio women. Shout out to Charles Barkley. No, seriously, there was a guy, this guy you would think could do a lot better, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I mean, you would think he could, but he was going after the big girls, and there's a lot of guys like that, and that's one of the hidden things that keep this going. In fact, if you look into the history of the fat acceptance movement, it was actually pushed by male fetishists who love these big girls and wanted to, keep them big. And we see there's feedy relationships and all this stuff. This whole subculture is about to blow up, pun not intended, or maybe slightly is, Freudian wise. It's about to blow up. It's about to get a lot bigger. Okay, that part was intended again. Seriously though, this is about to be a serious thing. We already have an obesity crisis, health crisis, and it's going to get worse because now we have encouragement. Now we have a culture of encouragement and shielding and celebration for this. And watch this get, it is already, to some extent has been, it's going to get tied into LGBTQ. It's going to be, it's a way for people to be a protected class and a oppressed class and a victim. And that means internet clout and money. You can get money for this. And now you have also shout out to Ozempic and other drug companies. They're not going to be cashing in on this as well. So you have a lot of money to be made. A lot of people who are going to be a part of this, unfortunately, naturally, because of the food supply. A lot of people who don't have an identity and want to identify as anything, so they'll identify as a person of size. And you'll have a lot, like I said, a lot of money to be made. So it's all the ingredients for a disaster, unfortunately. But what say you? Do you know anything about the fat acceptance movement? What do you think about it? You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to bully people. Obviously, I got a lot of weight to lose. I don't think people should be bullied for being obese, but I don't think they should be bullying other people. I think there's a lot of destructive, disturbing stuff in this movement. And then when somebody dies, nobody cares. Nobody cares. But what do you think? If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night and God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.